There it is! Chunk! Big chunk. So, this is the Argus Autronic 35. I cannot find any videos about this exact camera on YouTube. There's some similar ones, but none on this one. So, I shall take it upon myself to make a video on this. And right off the bat, we can see that this has some serious chonkage to it. It's almost as thick as a regular point-and-shoot is tall. That is some next-level chunk. So, in the one video I could find on a camera very similar to this, the guy in the video mentioned that this is about the least user-friendly camera that he had used, and I think that it's even the least user-friendly camera that I've used, even among all the weird cameras I have, like the paper camera. Yeah, this is more user-friendly. So, a lot of the high-level operations are very similar. The door opening is kind of weird. You gotta pull up on that, and then kind of use your other hand to pull it open, and there you go. And I guess the film loading is probably a little bit weird. Let's grab my test roll here, because I haven't actually tried loading this yet, because this one doesn't actually work. So, there you go. So it's got sort of a quick loading system. Ooh. One quirk of this is you can wind it. It feels like it's chewing up this film roll. Yeah, that's not very nice. I think that's just a quirk of this particular camera being really old and crusty. But, oh yeah, you lift that to rewind it. But that's not very nice, is it? And it didn't advance when I wound it on. So, I don't know exactly how this camera is supposed to load, so I'll have to look into that a little bit more. So, we're already off to a pretty bad start with this camera, but it gets weirder. The aperture settings are pretty dang normal. It's got the regular aperture numbers and then auto. It uses these selenium light cells to measure the brightness of your scene. I assume this uses a trap needle system for metering. Technology Connections made a great video on that, which I'll link right there. But now let's get into the weeds. So for shutter speed, you have flash, scene, action, and 500. Additionally, you can turn it and then really turn it and get a bulb mode, which this camera's broken, and I think it's kind of de-linked this to the shutter because it sounds like it's always in bulb mode, no matter what I have it set to. So that's unfortunate. So that's the shutter speeds. And then down here is how you set the ISO, or ASA in this case. It's the same thing, really. You have to push this button and turn this ring to change your ISO. But this button and the ring to change the ISO are both on the shutter speed ring. So, as you're trying to push this button, when you try and turn the ring, the button tries to turn with it. Oh my gosh. Just trying to set it back to 100 now. And just for reference, here's my A1, and this camera was previously the most annoying to set the ISO on. Makes it look super easy now. Because even though the ISO ring is on another moving ring, like on this one, that ring is locked unless you press this button, and I don't think you'll be trying to change the exposure compensation and the ISO at the same time. So it locks, and then you press a button to select which ring turns. Why did they do it like this on the Argus? Finally, except not finally because this has another weird setting that doesn't make sense, is the focus. It's on the shutter button for some reason, which is itself weirdly placed. And these numbers are not feet markings or meter markings, they're flash numbers. See that? Flash finder. these are flash numbers. What are flash numbers? I don't know. Maybe some of you do. Let me know. Now, actually, finally, for the camera itself, is this mystery knob. Yes, that is the film counter knob. So whether that means you have to manually set the film counter each time you take a photo, or if that's just set it to 36 and then it'll count on its own, or if you have a 24 exposure rule, set it to 24 and then it'll count on. I don't know. Still really weird though. I guess it counts down from the number of exposures instead of like most cameras that count up. So that's the camera itself, but I also got the flash with it. So this flash plugs into the side like so, and it unfolds, and it unfolds, and it folds up, and it unfolds again. Look at how pretty that looks. I do not have any flash bulbs, but if I did, I wouldn't want to waste them. If we take a look inside here, I'm sure this was probably relatively normal for the time, but there's the battery, a Malloy M505 2.5 volt electronic battery, and it has a price tag of $229 on it. That's so expensive. That's not the only thing. You can also take out the capacitor in the flash and replace it for some inexplicable reason. This is definitely one of the strangest cameras I've gotten, and if I hadn't gotten this for Christmas, this might have topped my last video for my weirdest cameras of this year. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts on this camera.